Good evening. John again, once again going for that Immaculate Grid, once again going for that low rarity score. Exciting times in the Immaculate Grid world for fans of other sports. Football, I think, is on day 5 or 6 or something like that. And I think they just announced they're incorporating basketball. So fans of other sports, check that out. As much as I like those other sports, I'm no good at I certainly can't play them like I can play baseball, at least on Immaculate Grid. But I'm going to start sharing the sport I can do well in and hit a refresh and let's get going. Oh yeah, we got the Brewers. So I always do a lot better with the Brewers. We've got the Philadelphia Phillies, got the Cleveland Guardians there, Toronto Blue Jays. Um, and we've got 100 RBI. Um, all right, so this will be fun. I'm gonna hit a little bit, yeah, 100 RBI seasons. There's some fun ones throughout history. Um, if we deep go way back, actually, here's a good one. Here's a good one for the Guardians. So you could there's like the entire batting order of the mid to late 90s Indians had people getting 100 plus RBI. Um, I think if you go way back, you could probably find seasons from Joe Jackson, Shoeless Joe Jackson, Tris Speaker. I think. Um, but one that I really like is this season by Lou Boudreau, 1948. And I know he drove in just over 100 runs. Like it's 0.2%. And here's why that's a good one is Lou Boudreau, you could make an argument he had the greatest season by any player ever in 1948 in that he uh, was a stud in the field. He was worth both offensively and defensively comes out to over 10 wins above replacement. Um, Obviously over 100 runs driven in. If you like the old school statistics, and he was the manager. He was the manager of that team, the last Cleveland team to win a World Series, and the first integrated team to win a World Series. Because it featured both Larry Doby and Satchel Paige in 1948. So, um, coming over from the Negro League. So, pretty historic season overall for Lou Boudreau. So I just wanted to call that one out. Um, so you got a 100 plus RBI from the Phillies as well. How about this one? This is we're not going back quite well, we could go back. Let's do Chuck Klein. Let's see how he does. He was a Triple Crown winner in the early 30s. All right, went sub 1%. So 2 for 2, and I haven't even touched the Brewers yet. Um, 200 hits, 100 RBI. I am going. Here's what I'm going to do for this one. I happen to know that in 2009, Ryan Braun hit both of these. And my logic here is going to be that a lot of people will choose Braun for this one. Um, and that will like kind of draw fire away. So let's see how that does. There's bound to be other ones here. Um, I think Cecil Cooper would actually work too. Maybe that's better. Maybe that's better. I mean, Braun is going to draw a lot more, but I've still got. Let's see. Let's think about this for a second. I've still got Yount. I've got Molitor. Um, Actually, Cooper's probably just gonna be the best one for 1982. I'm not thinking of any others off the top of my head. I think Fernando Vina came extremely close one year, and so did Jeff Cirillo, but they just missed. This is in the late 90s because I was looking for it. I was just like, we're gonna have a guy, and like they both hit like 320, but didn't quite get there. Um, yeah, I'm gonna go with Cooper. I'm gonna go with Ryan Braun Well, nah. I'm just gonna hold off on that one. I'm gonna go Cecil Cooper here, though. I think that's gonna be the best race. I think it might just be those four, and three of them all did it in the same season in 1982. So he takes 3%. I think that might be the best one there. Let's see here. Got a pretty good one for this one. This is just a player my dad liked to reference, who I happen to have a baseball card of him with the Phillies. He extended a game one time. I think it might have been the longest game in baseball history, but he extended it by making a massive throwing error. Maybe I'm fusing knowledge there, but my dad liked anytime when we were playing catch, if I overthrew him, he'd reference Randy Reddy. Um, so that's my Randy Reddy story. I'm very sentimental about my dad, so I wanted to toss that in. And it was a pretty good one, 0.2%. Jeff Jenkins also would have worked. I think he would have been a little bit more popular. Matt Stairs would have worked. Don't think Matt Stairs will work for this one. That's probably a good use of Matt Stairs. I mean, Roy Halladay is going to take a lot from the Phillies and the Blue Jays. That's going to be a big one. Jay Happ, um, who won 20 games with the Blue Jays in 2016. I couldn't remember him, but he did. Um, this was an Immaculate Grid I played like a week and a half ago, or maybe 2 weeks ago, something like that. But I was trying to come up with which Blue Jays pitcher that I couldn't remember had 20 wins. It turns out it was Jay Happ, and he played for both the Phillies and Blue Jays. So that's two stud starting pitchers. I don't think I can type in the 1993 World Series. Nope, that's not a thing. But yeah, they faced off against each other there. Wondering if one or both of the Alex Gonzalez's would work, but I don't have confidence in both of them played for the Blue Jays. I'm not sure if one of them maybe played for the Phillies. I wouldn't be able to get the right one though. I'd almost invariably mess it up. So, yeah, I am gonna go with I'm gonna go Stairs. I'm gonna go with Matt Stairs. 2%. All right. Matt Stairs is a little bit of an Immaculate Grid mainstay. He's in Octavio Dotel levels of you can go with him just because he played with so many teams. Um, so maybe that's where that 2% is coming in, because I don't think he was particularly memorable with either team, but he definitely played for both teams. Let's see, Cleveland and Toronto. Phil Niekro will work. Joe Carter will work. Ooh, here's a good one that'll work. 0.5%. All right. So the reason I'm bringing up Jack Morris. So Jack Morris obviously featured here with the Tigers. Had a tremendous postseason in 1991 with the Twins, winning that 10 inning game seven shutout. Um, and then went to the Blue Jays and won 20 games in the 1992 season with an ERA over 4. And then was awful for them in 1993, and then played his last season, 1994, with Cleveland. Here's what's interesting about that is that whenever people bring up the Jack Morris Hall of Fame case, and this isn't the place, I even have a similar footnote in my book, Baseball's Most Fun Frivolities, available on Amazon. Link will be in the description. There's the plug. I even include the same disclaimer in the footnote. It's just like, I'm not here to relitigate Jack Morris getting in the Hall of Fame. He's in the Hall of Fame, good for him. Congratulations. But like anytime the Hall of Fame case would be made, you would invariably hear he was the starting pitcher on like 15 opening day rosters. And it's just like, yeah, but that included like the inexplicable decision to have him be the opening day starter for the 94 Indians. And you look at like 93, it's like, does he get credit for this season, even though he was terrible that year? And for the most part, he was just the strongest pitcher on some pretty weak Tiger rotations. But hey, he works for this one. He gets me some points on Immaculate Grid. And again, good for him for being in the Hall of Fame. I'm not I've no intention of throwing shade at him for that. Um, Brewers and Guardians slash Indians slash Naps won't really work for the Naps because they existed in the early 1900s. Um, Kevin Seitzer works. The person the Brewers acquired for Kevin Seitzer will work. That would be Jeremy Burnett's. Richie Sexson would work. Um, Jesse Orosco would work. Doug Jones would work. All all players with the Brewers and Indians in the 90s. Marquise Grissom would work. Really, my biggest challenge here is trying to figure out which of these people is most obscure. Oh, I got one. I got someone from the 80s who will work. I think he like co-invented the cheesehead, if I'm not mistaken. Rick Manning. Other details about Rick Manning that I won't go into on this episode, but he played for both teams. Ooh, he gets 1%. Maybe he's that notorious. All right. I should have, you know what? 1%, I mean, 1% is pretty good, but I should have gone with, I think Burnitz or even Julio Franco. That's another one that would work. Julio Franco briefly played for the Brewers in the 1997 season. But had actually came over off waivers from Cleveland that season. He'd previously played with Cleveland, I think, in the 80s. But he hits a lot of teams. Check out Julio Franco sometime. Anyway, back to looking for people with 200 hits now with the Blue Jays. They had three people would work for that 93 Blue Jays team that won that second consecutive title. Roberto Alomar, Paul Molitor, and John Olerud all got to 200 hits. In Olerud's case, I think he was exactly at 200 hits. He hit 363 that season, was over 400 into August. Sometime check that out. Yeah, he had a tremendous season. Um, I happen to know, and I think this would actually be a pretty good one, is that Molitor or Olerud would work here. So maybe what I actually do, I mean, a lot of people will work for this. I'm trying to think strategically is like if they're already used somewhere else, that reduces the chances they'll be used down here. So for this one up here, I am going to go with John Olerud, 1993. I think it was like exact because he walked a lot. John Olerud walked a lot. So I think he barely got to 200 hits. I think it was like 200, 201, something like that. But he'll work. Oh, he'll work way too well. All right. You know who I should have gone with, actually? I should have gone with Vernon Wells in 2003. He had over 200 hits. And there were probably others. Okay, egg on my face. I thought Olerud was going to be tougher because he walked so much. And I think he barely got to 200 hits, but he was probably the most popular one. Molitor and Alomar also got there. Um, Cool. I'll take a look at that one. I'll see if because I've only got four Brewers getting to 200 hits, a couple coming very close, but only four Brewers that I'm recalling that got 200 hits. We'll see if there's any I missed. Um, I'll just go ahead and get Molitor in here because I nobody really associates him with being a 100 RBI man. I should go with Oliver down here, maybe. Who knows? 0.7% on Molitor's. Rarity score 47, with almost all that coming from John Olerud. And so I named four of them. Shannon, you know who? Shannon Stewart, I think, just had a 200 hit season. I just thought it like 2001, I think. Shannon Stewart, yep, 2001. I got oh, I was wrong. If I picked Roberto Alomar, I would have been wrong. I thought Roberto Alomar had over 200 hits that season. I'm surprised Olerud was the biggest one. He barely had 200 hits. I thought people would remember how he like walked all the time. But yeah, he was the most frequent one. Tony Fernandez, Blue Jays legend. I think I did know this. I think I did know he had a crazy number of hits in 86. Um, yep, think I hit all the Brewers who got there. So I think Cooper was probably the right choice because the others are Yount, who was first, and then Molitor, and then Braun. And other than that, yeah, a lot of choices here. I think I was under 1% on Molitor. So overall, pretty good day. I had a 9. I really, really was wrong about my strategy with Olerud. So egg on my face, I suppose, but that's all right. Let's see which ones were toughest. Brewers and Phillies were the toughest. I'm telling you, Jeff Jenkins was a good safe pick there, but he played on that '08 World Championship Phillies team and then retired. But all right, so still 47 is pretty good. It would have been sub 10 probably. Well, I don't think I was going sub 10. I think if I'd picked Shannon Stewart or Tony Fernandez, I think that would have gotten me about a score of 12 or so, 12, 15, something like that. But once again, this was fun. I love doing this. And even if I get burned like I just did by more people remembering John Ellerud's 1993 season than I would have thought, it's still fun. It's still fun. So have a great night, and we'll be back at it tomorrow. Thanks, everyone.